Hey,
Hey, welcome back.
welcome back. We are back for another episode with Jason and Tina Marie.
Yes, we had a beautiful week. Little thunderstorms and stuff, but we had a good week.
That's right. That's right. We had a great
Holiday.
time. Yeah, holiday.
Mhm.
Well, we had a great time having a day off. We got an opportunity to do a lot of things, and it's just been a wonderful week. Life is good,
Life is good.
right?
Yeah. So what we got on the market for today, or on the topic?
So, who are we, and
Oh,
where can you find us? We
oh,
are Jason and Tina Marie,
yep.
life and relationship coaches.
Oh.
We are here to give you the 411 on relationships and marriage, right? And here's where you can find us.
You can find us wherever you get your podcast delivered on YouTube as well under at Legendary Relationship. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and
YouTube.
YouTube at Legendary Relationship. You can search us there or wherever you get your podcast delivered. You can search Loving Beyond That I Do. That is the pre-recorded podcast.
So if you ever want to find us, you can go to legendaryrelationship.com/info.
And that'll give
What's
you
this?
everything. Yeah,
You can go to legendaryrelationship.com/info. And you can find all of our information there if you ever want to find us or look at our page. Please like, share,
Yep.
and subscribe. All right. So, subscribe. Lots of people ask, well, what does subscribe mean? Subscribe means that you are wanting to know what's going on with my page. So, it's more like a following, right?
Yes.
So, when you go to Facebook, they say follow me. Things like that is the same thing. A subscription is just a different name under YouTube or under your
Yeah,
podcast.
it was followed before. I think everybody, all of the social media companies just said we're going to
Just change.
subscribe.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's just subscribe. So that means that you're following our page. So
That's it.
whenever anything new comes on, whenever we go live,
Mhm.
whenever we're offering something, whenever we are promoting anything, you will get noticed that you will get a notification that we're on or that we posted something or what's going on. So that's what that means, all right? Like means hit the like button. That means you
I
like
mean,
what's
come
going
on.
on.
That's real
And
easy.
then share means it doesn't cost you anything. Hit the share
Share some
button.
of this good info.
That's right. If you find value in it and you know someone who's married or wants to be married or wants to have a good relationship or wants to start a good relationship or want to know how to get a good relationship, just hit the share button, right? And if you want to, you can tag all your friends and say, hey, you guys need to listen to this because you are complaining all the time about your mate or your spouse or not having a good relationship or not knowing what to do to get a relationship. So listen to them. All right, we are here to impact marriages. We are also here to help you with relationships. But most of all, we believe that there is nothing out there that cannot be resolved if two people want and are committed to the marriage. So we are here to be divorce busters, right? As much as we can.
That's
We can
right.
you can lead a horse to water, but it's up to them to drink. So we hope that you guys are drinking the water because it's not the Kool-Aid. We're not making the poison
That's
Kool-Aid. So we hope you guys are drinking the water. So
That's funny.
this is information. We are relationship coaches,
Mhm.
and we're not counselors. We
No.
are coaches,
And
which means
mentors.
that. So when your son or daughter or you are in a sport and you want to excel in it, you go get coaching. That's what we do.
Yep.
Right? We're not here to tell you about the things you do wrong. We're not here to tell you about what your mate does wrong. We're here to coach you in the area that we've never been coached in, which is marriages.
Yeah.
Most people grow up looking either at their parents' relationship, either the function or the dysfunction of it,
Mhm.
but they never really get the ins and out of it. They never ask their parents, well, what is marriage about?
Or they don't get to form their own opinion of a relationship or their own outlook. They just you absorb whatever you're
You
around,
think, right, and the mentality and the mindset
and
of a
that's it.
child of
And
what
then you
think
start
it
to
is.
form from there. So it's not really your original ideas of what your likes and dislikes. You just pick this up along the way when you're growing up.
I have yet to meet a person that says all of the things that I thought marriage was when I was younger was
Mhm.
exactly what it was when I got married. I
Exactly.
have yet to find
Nope.
a person because the misconception is that all of your issues and problems are going to go away, which in actuality, you have two different people, and most of the time they compound, right? They multiply because we don't know how to successfully merge and accept each other for who we are. But we'll get back into tonight's topic right after we get this little word of who we are.
you guys excited about this topic
That's right.
because I am. So,
Tonight's topic is
fa-
it faith
or fear.
or fear, right?
Hmm.
And so we just want to say whether you are watching live or watching on the replay, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And if you have comments, please put them in. We will respond to your comments. If you have questions, please feel free to ask questions. If you disagree with something or you want us to go deeper into it, please let us know. Only way we can help you is if you are open to being helped. So,
That's right.
all right. So let's get into tonight's topic.
All right. So we're talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing.
Mhm.
If you want us to shout you out, please make a comment because we cannot see who is watching. We cannot see who's watching live. So if you want us to shout you out, whether it's
Just
on the
say hey.
live or the replay, just say hello. Just say, hey, family, or what's going on, or Tina's watching, or Nicole's watching, or whoever. Just shout us out, and we will make sure that we mention your name. All right?
All right. So we're talking about faith or fear. Faith or fear. And
Most of the time, do we even know the difference? Do we even know the difference if it we say we have faith,
right.
right?
But then we're guided by fear. And
Absolutely,
we make all our decisions about by fear.
Yep.
I'm too afraid to change or I don't want to change because I'm afraid of how it may affect my relationship. I'm not happy with the way my relationship is, but if I change, then I don't know what it will become.
So most of the times when Jason and I we talk about that, people say, "Well, I have faith," and most of the time we ask them, "Well, what type of faith do you have?" Right? So because we use these terms that even cliches,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a general meaning of, but what we assume is that everyone has the same meaning. And so the first thing is you have to ask yourself, what does faith mean to me? Right? What does faith mean? So in my terminology, faith means saying yes to God, right?
Mhm.
That's what I believe.
That's what faith
It's
is.
saying yes to God, which means that God, whatever you have for me in this situation, I'm going to say yes to it.
Right.
Even if I don't agree with it, even if I can't see what the outcome is going to be, or even if the outcome is going to be different than what I would have expected or wanted, I know that your only will for me is good. So me having faith is believing that even though everything may be hitting the fan, everything like nothing is
Your
going right.
world may be upside down.
Exactly. That I'm going to have faith that I'm going to make the right decisions. I'm going to be led. I'm going to do the right things. And oftentimes that's not what we do because it's the appearances of what's going on that we make our decisions.
Right. And that's where we can't really decide if it's faith we're guided by or fear. Because if you're afraid to make a decision, then you're being led by fear.
Or you're afraid to make something other than what you see.
Right. Because faith is unseen.
Right. Exactly.
So fear is basically, I'll say, seen because you're living in maybe your appearances, right? Your experiences that what you're experiencing right now. So if I change this, I don't know what it's going to become. So a lot of times we don't move. We want a better relationship. We say we want to change, but we don't really change. We keep saying and we're fighting with ourselves to become a better person, but we can't because the old person keeps coming up. That's just fear. But if you had the faith to make that leap to the unknown, then you would know what's on the other side, or you would find out. But we never get to that side because we're still over here dealing with past situations and fear in that sense. So sometimes we have to make this jump on faith. You know, people talk about it all the time, but how many of us out there are stuck in the whole fear mode? I mean, you can raise your hand because the only person that can see it is you, right?
And
So-
sometimes we don't even know we're stuck
exactly.
in it because
Had you not made a decision based on faith or fear?
right. And so we make these decisions and we go, I knew I shouldn't have done it. And now it makes us afraid to make other decisions instead of being led, right? And so as we go into relationships and we're coaching people, we let people know that you are truly attracting in your relationship what you want. So at the end of the day, your relationship is either, if you want it to be different, that your relationship starts with what you conceive it to be in your mind.
Right.
Right. And so we talk about your consciousness, right? In order to, We talked about let's elevate, and elevation begins with seeing things different, a different perspective, which is your consciousness, right? Which means, what am I believing? What am I putting all my energy and effort into? Am I doing things that are adding to my relationship or taking away from my relationship? And if I refuse to change and have faith that this is going to be the right decision, then if I don't move in the direction in which I'm led, because I'm afraid if I stop doing this or if I start doing this, then this person will love me less, or I'm going to be the one that's doing all the backbending or the changing and my mate isn't doing anything, right? We have these misconceptions about what it takes in a relationship, but at the end of the day, we have to ask ourselves, what am I doing in my relationship? Right? What am I that every action, every thought, every reaction that I take, is it adding to my relationship, the type of relationship that I want, or is it minusing my relationship, right? Is it a taking away? Just like when we talk about relationships, we say you should always get a person that multiplies you, right? You don't want to get a mate that takes away from you. So why would you want to have a relationship where every thought and every action and every reaction that you have, every feeling, every thought is something that's taken away from the purpose of the relationship, which is love, right? Which is, I want to be loved, I want to be respected, I want to love you and respect you. But if we're doing things because we feel as though we're right and we shouldn't have to change, then that's minusing our relationship. So it's all aware, your consciousness. And when we say consciousness, we mean awareness.
Yeah.
Right? And so we always talk about you can't change what you don't face.
Right. We even talked about that on a Friday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so
a lot of times we found out that you can't, we're not willing to face it, and then obviously we can't change it.
So when we talk about consciousness, and consciousness is your awareness. And when we say you can't change what you don't face, when we talk about face, we're talking about being aware.
Yep.
And now when you become aware of something in your relationship that's not working, being aware of it means that now you're conscious of it.
Now you can work on it and you can fix it.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
If you have a better solution, why wouldn't you move to the solution instead of being stuck in the problem? That just makes no sense, right? If I'm your coach and I'm telling you that if you're a hitter and I tell you put your elbow down, why would you keep your elbow up if you know that it's going to make you strike out every time?
Right.
So if we're giving you these tools and these techniques that's going to make your marriage better, why would you choose to do something opposite of what someone's telling you that they know that if given a chance, it's going to work out? We're so stuck in, I don't want to be the one to has to do everything, but everything you do adds to your relationship anyway. Every single thing you do, every single thing you think, every single act you make is all adding to your relationship in some way or another. Either it's taken away from it or it's adding to the garbage that you're putting into it. Right. So you're doing something anyway. Most people say, well, if I'm doing all the changing, then what are they doing? Your job is not to worry about what your mate is doing. Your main focus and concern is, how can I have a happy, successful relationship? That's your goal. If we take our focus off of our mate and off of other people, we always want other people to change in order to make us feel better. The truth is, the only way you start feeling better is when you start changing. When you start making the change, everything around you change. So now I'm going to turn it back over to my partner.
Well, that's the truth. So, like I said from the beginning, we have to make decisions in our relationship. We have to make decisions in our lives. And a lot of times we don't make these decisions because we're fearful about
what the outcome's going to be.
Well, you know what? We already know in our head.
Right. We
play out all these different scenarios, right? Before we even start to make a move, we play this scenario all in our heads before we even move. And then when we move, we go, I don't know if I want to do that because I know how this story's going to end. It's going to do this, this, and this, and it's going to be so hard. How do we know it's going to be hard? It doesn't always have to be hard.
Or last time I did this, they did that, and so it's going to be the same. And so
and that's
now
not right.
that
but you
reaction
don't know.
of fear of, I'm afraid to actually do anything.
Fear's job is to keep you right where you're at.
Absolutely.
That's his job. And I'm going to tell you,
it does it's good at what it does.
It's very good at what it does,
Absolutely.
Right? At keeping you right where you're at. You're complacent. You're fine. You don't want to rock the boat. But to actually have the relationship and the marriage that you want, you have to go out on faith. You have to make some changes. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable to get to the relationship that you want.
So many people believe that the relationship that they have, it can never get better, or this is as good as
This
it
is as
gets,
good as it gets.
right? And the truth is that if you have faith in something else, the reason why that's what it is, I'm sure we've all heard the conversation. If you believe you can fail, you will. If you believe you can succeed, you will. It's whatever you believe. It's the same thing in your relationship. If you believe that your relationship can't get any better, if you believe that you don't have the time, energy, and effort to put into your relationship, if you believe that your mate is never going to change, then they won't. Then all of those things that you believe is the truth is going to be your truth. Now, it may not be the truth, but
Right.
it's your truth. And so we say we have faith, right? And we pray of how we want it to be.
Right.
Lord, change him. Father, please change her. Or we don't pray at all.
Right.
We just say, well, I have faith that if it was meant to be, it'll be.
It'll be.
But what
I
we have
think
to
we use that as
understand,
a
faith
cop out.
without works is dead. So if we're not doing anything to go in connection with the faith that we say we have, then we're not moving anywhere. But so many times, really, is it faith or is it fear? Is it the fear of it's not going to change? Is it the
Right.
fear of he's not going to change? Is
Yep.
it the fear of I can't change? Is it the fear of this is as good as it gets? Is it the fear of this is what they say marriage is, so that it doesn't get any better? We have to really sit and ask ourselves, what is really going on? We talk about the things that we want and how we wish our relationships were, but what are we doing to move it in that direction? Where is our faith and how strong is it? How strong is it? And then what is driving you? Is it your faith or is it your fear? And sometimes we want to believe
Hmm.
that we're we're leaning on the faith side, but if you're not moving and doing the right things and you don't believe God or the universe or just life itself can change, then you're being driven by fear. We're being driven by fear. Jealousy is fear, the fear of losing, right?
Mhm.
Envy is fear, right? Being unhappy and giving back what
Being
you are
alone is
receiving.
being in fear. Being unhappy is fearful. So you'll stay in a situation that you're not happy with because you don't want to make it worse. You can deal with it where you're at, which is fear. So you'll deal with your relationship where it's at. But there's so much more that you can get out of it. But we won't do that because we're fearful of I don't want it to change. I can deal with it at this level, but if it gets worse, I don't want to deal with that.
So how do we help people understand to kind of move into the direction away from having fear
I think
into the space of just
I think the first thing that we had mentioned,
mhm,
awareness, right?
right.
So you have to become aware. You have to become aware as if you're dealing with faith or fear, right? So if you're saying that I want a better relationship, but then when you go to try to make a change, if you're coming up with all these stipulations to why, it won't work or it may be a struggle and all that, then you have to evaluate. Am I thinking about this from a fear base or a faith base?
And I also think even with ourselves, sometimes when we want to change, the fear of the unknown,
Yeah, and that's the
right?
thing,
So
right?
we have a fear of
You lose control, right? So if you have faith, you sort of I put that in air quotes that you feel like you're losing control. You can't control faith. You just have to put it out there
and
you
believe,
and
right?
believe,
And
and
just
that's
right.
it, right? Because it's unseen, right? But you have to work toward it to actually toward something to make it work. But
So I know over the last couple of weeks we've been interacting back and forth, as we do our Friday night lives, and we're often talking about, I want to change,
mhm.
and I start to change, but
And
then
then I
I go
revert.
back. And the
Yep.
thing is not that you're reverting back, is that as we talk about, right, homeostasis, the comfort zone of who we are,
Right.
most of that comfort zone comes from the fear of unknown. We don't know um, what the outcome is going to be.
Right.
So we want to change and we
Mm-hmm.
do things, we do small things in taking steps towards that change, but then we fall back into who we are
Right.
because there's somewhere along the way, truly, we are afraid of not being able to accomplish what we want to accomplish,
Right.
not being able to successfully get to what we wanted. So if I don't try, then I won't fail.
There
And
you go.
and so that's how a lot of people think. And even though they may not think that far or realize that's the real thought behind why they don't change, that's really what it is. Sometimes the things that are driving us are all of those sounds and things that's going on in our head that we're hearing that we don't even know that we're feeding into. We have to be aware, and that's what consciousness is. We have to be aware of the thoughts that we're feeding ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if you are silently telling yourself that it doesn't matter what you do because you always go back to the same doing the same thing, and it doesn't matter what they do because they always revert back to the same thing, we have to understand that somewhere in there is the fear. It's fear that's driving most of our decisions. It's the
Mm-hmm.
fear of not being able to get the relationship that we want because we've never had it. It's the fear of things starting to look good and be good. And then you go, I know this is only going to last a week because last time it lasted a week and I don't want to go through this again. So I'm not even going to put up the energy and effort to go. So it's the fear of the past. It's the fear of the unknown of the present. It's the fear of not getting what you really, sometimes we feel like we don't deserve it.
Yep.
Right? I've never had a good relationship. My parents didn't have a good relationship. I've never seen
Mm-hmm.
a good relationship. So subconsciously, we have pressed down into our subconscious, into our beliefs that we don't deserve to have a good relationship. And then when we get a marriage and it's going well, we know it's only a matter of time before it's going to be. See, I knew this is what it was going to
Yeah,
be.
that shoe's gonna
It's the
drop.
fear of it. It's
Yep.
the fear of having a happy relationship. And the point is that we all deserve to be happy. Happy feels so much better than unhappy. I am telling you, when I am unhappy, I am not happy.
Really? What a revelation! Right?
Right. Exactly. So the so we have to understand that regardless of what we are doing, we have to keep the faith to keep moving.
Yep.
We cannot keep looking back over our shoulder saying, I want it, I want it, I want it, but I
But
know it's not
but
going
I'm
to
looking
happen.
backward.
Right, because you are allowing fear to take over what you should have faith in. And faith is, go ahead.
I'm saying if you say that you want something, and you're moving in that direction to get it,
Hmm.
and then you use the word "but." I want a relationship, and everything is fine, but as soon as you do that, you interject fear into your belief
And doubt. Hmm.
and doubt, and then you actually have given up your faith.
That's right. And
So,
so when we use this word faith, and some people say faith is a word that should be used in religion, right? And the truth of the matter is that the word faith can be used in any arena. You can use it anywhere because faith means to different people different things. First, you have to define it for yourself. What does it mean to you,
hmm,
right? Which means that what are you putting your belief in?
mm-hmm,
Is it something positive or is it something negative?
right,
What are you focusing on that because whatever you focus on, that's what you have faith in.
right,
And so that's what your faith is meaning.
right, and if what you're focusing on is what you have faith in, fear or faith,
Right.
right? What you focus on, you're gonna get more of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're wondering why things aren't the way that you want them to be is because you're going to get what you focus on. So if you're focusing on the fear aspect of your relationship or your inner being, you're going to get more of it. It's going to feed that. If you rely more on faith, obviously, sometimes you talk about, I said this and things are going my way. Everything is just falling into place. It's just like fate for me, right? Things are just happening. That's just faith, right? But when things aren't going your way and it just seems like it's just a snowball effect and it just layer on and layer on,
That's also faith.
that's
but,
also
but that's
faith.
faith
That's
being
faith.
driven by fear.
Right, right.
So we have to understand in our quest for betterness of ourselves, in our
Mhm.
quest for betterness in our relationships, because we can't say this enough, a better relationship starts with a better you. It can't go any
Yep.
further.
Yep.
It cannot go any further. So I know a couple of weeks back or whatever, a couple of episodes back, if I'm not mistaken, Sandra, and I know Sandra personally, and sometimes I tease her, and she made the statement about what she wants him to change, and this just what did she say about? She was like, I want him to change.
Yeah,
and
I can't.
and
I can't
it's
remember
just
what it was.
insane,
Yeah,
right? That's
yeah,
insanity.
yeah.
Exactly. And so if we understand and we know that we are the catalyst for a successful relationship,
Right.
and that everything begins and ends with us, then we have to make sure that the decisions that we're making are not driven. They're not driven by the underlying fear that we have of what the past has given us. They're not driven by the underlying fear of, I don't know how this is going to turn out.
Mm-hmm.
The underlying fear of, if I become vulnerable, Or if I show my feelings, am I going to be looked at as weak or meek or shallow, or we have to, it's the fear of the ego
Yeah.
letting go. So we have to really, really pay attention as to what's driving us. We have to pay attention to those things because we think we have faith in it, but it's really the fear that is deciding what we're going to do and what we're not going to do and which direction we're going to take and why we're not making change. Because change, as one of our things said, change doesn't necessarily mean right or wrong or good or bad. It just means we have to do something
Something
different.
different.
And so in that difference, we have to be aware of what is driving our decisions, right? We have to become aware of the change that we need to make
Hmm.
and how to just think of things in a more general way so that it doesn't seem like it's so much. Right? We can't, if I wanted to jump over a mountain, of course it's going to seem like it's impossible.
Right.
That's hard. That's
Right.
But if I take it one step at a time, before I know it, I'm at the top and now I can jump over. Right? So it's the same thing in the changes that we need to make, is becoming aware of what we need to do. Is the little steps. The first step is to become aware of what is driving our decisions, what is driving our relationship. What am I doing that is either adding to myself and my relationship, or is taking away from my relationship and myself? Because at the end of the day, it's still all, again, starts and it begins and ends with us. We are the catalyst for the change that we seek.
Yeah. Stop using things for excuses. Like, he's never going to change. She's never going to change. Oh, I already know how this is already going to end. See, we already laid the groundwork for fear, for failure, because we already know the outcome. If you already know the outcome, guess what? The outcome is going to happen because you already know. You already thought it, you felt it, you brought it into fruition. Now here it is going to manifest in your life.
We don't believe that people say, "Oh, I knew that was going to happen." It's happening because you have given your attention and your focus and your energy into it.
Yeah.
It didn't happen just because it was going to. It happened because you actually brought it.
You believe that it was going to happen, and that is exactly what happened. If you believe it, we say like faith. If you believe it to happen, it will happen. If you want it to happen, you believe it, it will happen. If you believe it in something negative, it's going to happen as well. So you have to be in control of what of your thoughts. And that's why we said the first step is awareness. We want you to be aware of which way or which thing you're operating from, fear or faith.
And being aware that to make a decision of not necessarily looking at the end result all the way down the line, but just making a small change.
Mm-hmm.
A small change, right? I know in the past that I've been afraid to do this, so I'm going to do this. And I'm just going to do this one little thing that's going to move me in the direction in which I want to go. If I never start in that direction, I can never end up there. Right? If I want to go to the store, I don't care how much I sit and complain about it, I'm never going to get there until I make the steps in that direction. And that's the same thing with our relationships, right? We cannot get the relationship we want and we truly desire and we deserve. The truth is that God put us here to enjoy each other.
Right.
Why do we want to make life miserable? Why do we want to make life, as the young folks say, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. You're doing too much of, this is the way my daddy was. This is why I do it.
Right.
This other girl did this to me. This other guy did. You're doing too much. The only thing that matters is right here, right now. What do I want and how do I get it? If we could just focus on that, if we could take our attention off of all the reasons why we can't have it, if we could take our attention of all the reasons why somebody else got it and we don't, right?
Jealousy.
The main thing is that if you want something, name it, claim it, fake it till you make it, and keep moving in that direction. That's it.
I like
right?
it. Fake it till you make it, right?
Right?
Yeah.
So, sometimes we don't know what it takes.
Exactly.
So
and it's
try
okay.
something.
And that's the thing.
Try
it's
something.
okay.
Fake it. Okay, what is it?
But at least move.
What does it feel like to be happy? I'm going to pretend like I'm happy today.
There you go.
And so
at least you're moving in
pretend
that
like
direction.
you're happy, and then you might get some good results and go, wow, that really worked.
Not one day. Give it some time at
No,
least.
I'm
Give
just
it some.
saying,
I'm just saying. People like, well, I tried it yesterday. I wasn't happy, so I'm done. No, that's not what we're saying. give it some time so you can be happy. Yeah,
That's
learn to
not
be
true,
happy.
because if you try a little bit, if you try,
I know that. You know what?
if you try one day, if you just make the decision one day of all day today, I'm gonna be happy. I guarantee you will get different responses from every single person you meet.
I can guarantee that. Yes.
Like
Yes.
I said,
And it goes both ways.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you
And
know,
I feel like we have the ability
hmm
to change our day. If it's not going the way we want it to go, starting now or whatever,
change our day, change our life,
there,
change our
there you
relationship.
go. And
We
I'm
have
only
the
starting with the day,
and
right? I'm just starting with the day.
if
So
we could just
if
understand, we just
you
have the power. The power. We are the power.
right, so if you get out of the wrong side or get out of the bed on the wrong side, as people say, and things aren't going your way, you can stop. You can stop yourself. Say nope. This is not the way my day is going. I'm in control. I'm choosing to be happy. It's not on what side of the bed I got out on. Has nothing to do with that. So what I stubbed my toe on my way to the bathroom, I'm okay. I love this day. This day is great. I'm great. I'm wonderful. Everything is going to work out for my good. See how your day turns around.
And we have, I always revert back to the topics that we've had because really there's nothing new under the sun. It's just a different way of saying it. And hopefully it resonates with you in a different way. But truly, the beginning of the change is your thought process.
Yep.
How are you thinking about the things that either have happened to you or that you want to happen to you, right? What are you thinking about on a constant basis? I know at the beginning of the year, I challenged you guys to pick a certain amount of time and decide to think only positive thoughts about your mate. Then think only positive thoughts about yourself, right? When we get into the process of thinking something negative, then it continues and we continue to find and we everything is gravitating towards the energy that you're giving out of negativity. So if you want something different, let's think something different. Let's just start with something really small like your thoughts because your thoughts really control every single part of you and we don't even realize
That's the exact
right
truth.
so just as Jason said, if you decide that today you get up and things start going wrong, just stop it. You have the power and the ability to stop whatever is going on, whether it's with your mate, whether it's with your boss, whether it's with your kids, whether it's with your neighbor. It's not what's going on. Going back again, it's not what happens around you. It's not what happens to you. It only matters what happens inside of you.
That's it.
So if we have the power to think the thoughts that are as our perception looks at stuff, so we're going to perceive whatever it is, not in a negative light, but in a positive light. We're going to perceive ourselves as being able to be change agents in our lives because that's what we want. It doesn't matter what my mate does. It doesn't matter what my mate says because when I see it in a different light, I can perceive it different and I can react different. Therefore, my thoughts are different. Therefore, my reactions are different, which means that now I'm changing the narrative of the same old outcome.
That's right.
I'm now throwing a mix in. I'm what do they call that? You throwing a monkey wrench. I'm not throwing a monkey wrench in it. And you go, wait a minute. Wait, you weren't supposed to say that. You're supposed to say this so we can end up here.
Right.
Now we're changing the narrative.
You're calling an audible at the line.
I don't feel the same way I used to feel, which means that now if my thoughts are different, I can express myself differently. Yeah. Now I can learn how to be an effective communicator. Now I can learn how to be an effective person in my marriage. Now I can effectively be a catalyst for change, whether or not it's something I want or don't want. I have the decision. I'm not going to let other things decide for me what type of relationship I'm going to have.
Yep. All right, we got some comments.
All right, so let's get our comments.
All right. Welcome to the show, Dennis.
Happy Friday, Dennis. Good to see you. I love that picture. I love that picture of you. Just a little cutie pie. Yeah. All right.
And we got Gail. Hey, welcome,
hey,
Gail.
Oh, look at that picture. I like that picture, too. Everybody trying to got cute pictures. All right.
Oh, Lava the poet.
Hey, Lava.
You're pressing, fam. All right.
Hello, that's my friend Lisa. And so I'm going to say something real quick about her. Go ahead and go to the next one. Love you, Lise. All right. Sometimes.
There goes Sandra.
So, Sandra, I don't know if you heard my comment. Sometimes I have thoughts like I'll change when he.
That's straight up insanity. 100%. I'm glad you. See, that's a part of it. It's awareness, right? You're already aware.
But this is what exactly, Sandra. You should be so far ahead of the game because. No, she's not. It ain't awareness.
It is awareness.
No,
she knows that I'll change when he changed.
But
that's straight up insanity. That's awareness. You are aware that is insanity.
Sandra, I just can't stop laughing. So I'm going to get back to Sandra's comment. But on a serious note, if everyone could keep my friend Lava, the poet, which is Lisa. Her name is Lisa Rogers. She is my childhood friend, my BFF. We've been knowing each other, I think, since we were like 6 years old. it's so funny. Her brother was like, "You like family. You like my sister. I've been knowing you as long as I know my sister." But anyway, she lost her sister, and earlier today we were at the funeral and the repast, and it is such a sad. And I don't want to get too deep in it because it's such a sad occasion. If everybody could really, really finish it,
You already really?
keep her in your prayers.
Oh, that's what you want me to say. Keep
Yes,
it. Yes.
yes. She has lost both of her sisters, which were younger than her in less than a year, and
Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine what she's going
I
through.
mean, like in
But
public, you can put on a brave face.
right,
You do what you need to do for the family to get through this.
yes,
It's just a lot, and you know what? We were there to encourage and to just
do
just
what we
show
can.
face and just
That's
show
right.
love, right?
So
It's not a whole lot you can do in that situation, but you can pray and
just send her your love, guys.
and
Just
send
pray for
love.
her, pray with her, pray through her, pray around her. Just
Yeah.
pray. And her sister's name was Kathleen, which we call Kat, and she has a 10-year-old daughter. So just pray for the whole family.
Yep.
Pray that God is working it out and that He knows that everything is always working out for their good. All right.
Yeah.
So just keep my friend in your prayers. All right.
All right. All right. So here we go. We got Dennis says Happy Friday,
Okay.
and then Lava said,
If you already know the outcome,
"Is
is it faith or is it fear? That's
so?"
right.
Here it is.
There you go.
Lava. Is it faith or is it fear?
And that's a very
That's-
good point.
so-
Is it if you already know the outcome? We already
right.
know what it is, right?
Right. That's true.
That's right.
It's a little bit of both. It's fear that you bring into fruition, or it's faith that you bring into fruition.
it's what you have faith in.
Right.
Exactly.
So it all depends on where you put your faith.
The thing is, what type of faith are we having? Are we
Right.
having, are we having the faith in the fear? Or are we having
the
faith in the belief that it's something that the outworking is already
And
going
the
to make it
outcome,
happen? That's right. So we have to be, that's all I said, we have to be so aware of how we choose things, how we look at things, because we think it's faith, but we're being driven by fear. So we're actually having faith in the fear and the things that we are fearing that are going to come to pass. All right. And let's see what Dennis is saying.
My man Dennis. I am operating off fear at this moment, to be honest. Thank you for your honesty.
And so the awareness of that,
Yep.
the awareness, now it's time to take the monkey wrench and put it in there and start loosening up the bolts and nuts, the nuts and bolts to take it away from operating from fear, because we're so afraid of losing things.
Yeah.
If I do this, I'm going to lose her. If I do
Right.
that, I'm going to lose him. If I do this, I'm not going to be myself. If I do this, then I'm giving in. And so I want to go back to what Sandra said too. So let's read the next comment and then we can go.
All right.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Dennis. Honesty and consciousness and awareness is the first step.
Faith.
Faith it till you make it.
Oh,
all right.
yeah, there you go. That's it. Faith it until you make it.
All right.
Faith will get you through some of everything.
Oh, you got to, I
Okay.
can't see that far.
It seems like the worst case scenarios always
Want to dominate our thoughts of the uncertain.
Of course it does.
Because that's the whole point. That's the whole
Well,
point. That right there, that what Lisa and what Nancy
Nancy?
just said was,
Yeah.
it doesn't get any better that in, is it faith or is it fear?
Yeah.
Right? Because we want to say, I have faith God's gonna work it out. And then
You
fear
give me
just
all of the worst scenarios that you could find.
of the uncertainty, because how we know it's fear is because we're thinking of things and none of those things have faith in what we've given our faith into, right? Faith means I can't see it. I can't see it. And the reason why you have fear is because you're fearing all the things that you think can come true, which means you can see it. You're seeing it in your mind. You're seeing it in your mind's eye. You're seeing it's happened before. So we know that it's not faith. It's faith in the fear of, when we have faith, we let go and we let God.
Yes.
I was talking to one of Kat's friends at the repast, and we were talking about children, and we were talking
Mhm.
about the need to just let go. We want to help them. We want to be that bridge between, oh, well, I don't want them to have to deal with these. Sometimes they got to go through some stuff, and we just have to have faith that God got them.
Right.
And I know
And
since
stop being fearful that they're not going to be okay. I mean, sometimes
Exactly.
we hold on to our kids too much in fear that something will happen.
And then what happens is that it blows up in our face. We do all these things for our kids. We do all these things that we feel a great parent is because we love them and we want to show them we love them. And then they take it something totally different. Well, I wasn't able to express myself. My mom did this. They always did things for me. We like, wait a minute, wait. How did something that we felt was positive turn out to be something negative? So my point is to just, when we have faith, we just got to let go. Whatever the outcome is,
it is.
When we say whatever the outcome is, that means we can't see it.
Right.
That means we don't know what it's going to be. That means that there's nothing in our mind or in our situation or on the physical realm of this that we know what the outcome is going to be. When you have faith, I have faith that God is going to take care of all three of my kids. Whatever issues they do, it's on them. I've done my job that God has told me to do. I've done it. I've done it. I've done the best that I knew how to do as a parent. So I am having faith that whatever happens in their lives, this is something that's going to make them stronger, because I know that everything works out for everyone's highest good, no matter who you are. No matter who you are and what you believe, everything is always working out for your highest good. All right, let's go to the next comment. Okay. But I definitely want to get back to Sandra in a minute, because that was funny to me. Okay, I got to go back to that. You are what you think. Yes. So as a man or woman thinketh, so is he. Absolutely. Or so is she. So are they.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you're thinking that you have faith because you know that you've done this before and I have faith that it's not going to turn out that way, whatever you're thinking is the way it's going to be. And so when, I'm sure Lava or Lisa is referring to when I said, let's start with a thought. Let's change our thinking process. Yep. Instead of seeing something in a negative light, and we're gonna interject Sandra in here. So Sandra's like, I'm going to change when he changed. Well, the truth of the matter is you're thinking that. So what's happening is that now you have created this whole atmosphere of you're not going to change until he changes, when the truth of the matter is he has no control over you. You have now given your power to him. You might as well just sign a piece of paper and say, dear husband, you have total control over me. Whatever you decide you want me to do, I'm going to do, because that's what you're doing. You're like, oh, if he change, I'm going to change. If he go bad, I'm going to go bad. If he go good, I'm going to go good. If he go negative, I'm going to go negative. So now you are literally giving, you're just a puppet on a string for him. Is that what you want? Is that how you think? Because that's what's insane. The insanity is not that you want him to change first. The insanity is that you have totally signed over all your rights to this person that you want to change. So Sandra, if you don't want no control, please sign your rights over to me. I'm gonna have you give me all your money, everything. Right. You can keep your grandkids, but So the point is that we don't even see it like that, right? We don't see it in that light. The truth of the matter is, if you are looking for a situation to change before you change, you have given your power to the situation or the person, right? Who is in control? Whose life is it?
It's my life, and I'm in control of it.
And guess what? The insanity is, this is what's the real kicker. The insanity is that if you actually change, everything will change. And you're going to be, and all this.
What would be funny is he will change if you change.
It ain't even about him.
I know that it's not, but right. he will change.
He will change in your perception.
Exactly, because you've changed.
That's right. So now whatever he used to do to you,
it will appear that he has changed.
Change is the perception of what is different.
Yep.
Right? And so you may be looking at his change thinking that he does something wrong, when in essence it's wrong just through your eyes. Right? So let's get to the other comment.
Okay.
Love the Poet. Hey, Jones Sykes. Lisa, Dennis is saying hello to his Jones Sykes sister. Thank you, Dennis, for sending out. Yeah. Sending out some love. Jones Sykes sister. Yep. You know what, guys? It's so funny because they are having all they are having an all Jones class reunion, and it's on August 19th. I'm like, everything is on August 19th. But anyway, let's go to the next thing. All right. So Gail said, I pray for the strength and peace. Yes. Please give it to her. She has been very strong.
Very. I mean, she did a marvelous job with the service and getting through the service. And I know it was difficult, but she put on just a marvelous homegoing.
She has faith in what she doesn't see.
Oh my gosh.
All right, let's see the next thing.
Okay.
Yep. Now right there. Yep. All right, love y'all. I feel the love and prayers. Thank you. You are welcome,
You are
Lisa.
welcome,
You
Lisa.
are always in our prayers. Okay, let's see. Yes,
Love,
Sandra said,
love
love
you
you,
more.
Lava and family.
Yes.
Yes.
And then we have here.
Change your fast to faith. I'll speak it out. Faith exceeding agents reality. Yes.
Against reality.
Yes. So she's saying fast,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the acronym for fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So faith exceeding against reality.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And
All right.
that's what faith is. Okay. So here we go.
So we got to understand, guys, but we can say all these acronyms, we can speak all these things, but we have to remember when something happens and we're upset, what's driving us?
Right.
The faith that we know that it's going to get better, that God's going to work it out, that I'm going to be able to see this situation in a different light so that
That's what we need to do.
next time I can it won't be a next time.
Right.
Or are we driven by the fear and the anger of what it is, right? So all
Just
we just have to be so aware, and that's our consciousness. We have to be aware of what we're feeding ourselves, what we're saying, what we're thinking, what we're believing. Everything has to be in alignment with what we want to have faith in. And we want to have faith knowing that the universe and everything is always working out for our highest good, and that we can't give away our power. Because when we do that, whether we're giving our power to our mate or we're giving our power to fear, we're still giving it away. We're not in the driver's seat.
yeah.
All right, let's read the next one. Speak. I discovered from you guys I have to change for myself, and if
If
someone
someone
else
else
sees my change, then it's great.
Yeah.
But it starts
Starts
with
with
me,
Mhm.
and hopefully faith takes over fear.
Yes.
Yes. Well, Dennis, I'm talk about this every Friday. We're not going to talk about hopefully. We're
Yeah.
not going to say maybe. We're not going to say but. We're just going to claim it. And I know
Yes, right.
sometimes it's hard.
And that's that faith part right there.
Yep.
When
Yep.
we stake a claim,
And then we
it's
say
no hoping,
hopefully.
wishing, and all. No, we're gonna
And it
say
takes
what
practice.
we want. Right.
And so going back to what we do, we are coaches, right? And so when we help people, and we have seen dramatic changes in relationships that they didn't even know could happen, right? And the things that there's time for counseling, but there's also time for us to do something different, right? We have to do something. We got to start somewhere before the shoe drops and all shit break loose, right? All hell breaks loose. We got to do something before it gets to that point. And we all know when we need to do something. So we have to start with the little things. And the little things is, how do I speak to myself? How do I feel about myself? How do I think to myself when I'm talking to myself in my mind? Because that's the worst thing.
Oh, yeah,
Our
for
thoughts,
sure.
as Lisa said, as a man thinketh. So we have to start. And Dennis, go get that book, Dennis. Because I know you don't have it because you're saying hopefully. Go get the book, Dennis. Dennis, talk to me. Go get the book. So the first thing is, guys, we have to watch the words and choose them wisely, right?
Watch our words.
Watch our words, and our words come from our thoughts. So again, watch your thoughts.
Yep.
Right? Let's start speaking life into us. Let's start speaking the things we want. And the reason why we can't speak it, we cannot. The reason why most of us cannot speak it, and a lot of our clients cannot speak it, is because they don't feel they're worthy of it, because the past has showed them something different.
Right. And they keep showing it.
It has nothing to do with it, guys.
Nope.
If I want a clean house, I don't care how long my house stay dirty. If I want a clean house, I have to not now start doing something different. It's the same thing with our speaking. Doesn't matter what things were. It doesn't matter what happened this morning. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. If you want something different, you have to start at right here, right now. Otherwise, your tomorrow is going to look the exact same way as your yesterday. And we don't want that. The whole purpose of living is to live. We want something different. Who wants to continue to live life
the same old way
in a way that isn't fulfilling?
Right.
So let's start speaking life, which means that I'm going to start doing things that's going to help me to be that change agent in my life. And I'm going to start with little things like, I am worthy. I deserve it. I can have it. Let's start putting words differently. I know we have been taught to always say the negative things. And it's just the truth, that this is a fact.
Right.
we are always talking about what we can't do. We're always talking about the bad things that happen to us. That's just kind of the way life is.
Or don't have such lofty dreams just in case you don't make it.
Right.
You
That's what
know.
people tell us,
No,
right?
that's okay. It's
Right.
nothing wrong with failing. I mean, if you look at all of the great um, inventions
Anybody.
and anything, right? They first fail at something
We
or
failed.
multiple
We
times.
failed at marriage, but we got it right.
Yeah, yeah. We went through our little stretch. Yeah, we did our little thing. Yep,
You get
for sure.
sometimes you gotta fall in order to get up.
And then you say, okay, I don't like that. I don't like where it's going. I know how to stop it from going down that road. Now I can help other people because I can see things now. If you really work and work at it and really try to cultivate a strong marriage, you have to be
relationship.
aware, or a relationship,
Intimacy.
or a relationship, because you got to have a relationship before you have a marriage anyway. So if you don't have an awareness, then you don't have anything. So if I'm first aware, you're brought to the forefront of your consciousness, you understand what's going on. It's like now I can better deal with it. So this what this whole Friday night really is about. It's about awareness. We don't always give you answers. That's pretty much done in our coaching sessions a lot of times. But here it's just to get you to think, right? It's to get you to go,
To help you to understand
that
sometimes we just got to do things a little different.
right. Like now, I mean, like a lot of times we don't think about faith and fear in relationships and things of that nature, right? But yeah, if we're standing in the same place and we can't move, where are you putting your belief?
You have fear. So fear is driving you. Fear is keeping you stuck. Fear is, and it is not necessary. Sometimes the fear in our relationships can be between us and our mate when we deal with our children.
Yeah.
One spouse says let them go. The other spouse says no. One spouse says they have to learn how to fail.
Oh.
The other spouse says I don't want my children to fail, but I can help them. I'm going to. So that it's the fear. It's the fear of if I let go, will they fall?
Right.
It's the fear of the other spouse saying if you don't let them go, they're gonna fall. Right. So we have to understand that most of our decisions are driven by fear of something, even though we have faith, right? Fear in something. So we have to be conscious and aware of what that is. And so let's go to Sandra's real quick. So Sandra is telling us that the acronym, take your thing off, for faith is face all internal temptations.
Sorry.
Okay, you got it. You open it up. Oh, okay. So when he opens it, I can't read it, guys. So faith says face all internal temptations honestly.
Okay.
Right? And so the honestly is that to me that my faith means I don't know what the outcome's going to be.
And that's okay.
I don't know if this is the relationship I'm supposed to have.
Right.
I don't know if I wait on him to change, if life is going to get better. No, my faith is I have faith that it's going to work out for my good.
Yep.
And I'm going to follow the gift that the universe has given me of intuition, because that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something better, and I believe that I know that it starts with me. So that's what I have to do.
Love her. That's my girl.
Golden Kid.
Golden Kid.
So the Golden Key
Yes.
is a very special tool that I got from my religious organization, right? And so the Golden Key is a tool to release anything.
Yes.
It's really what it is to let go and let God.
Yes.
Right? And so anytime I face a difficult situation or difficult person or something puts a lot of fear in me, or I'm feeling some type of way,
Right.
and I know that I need a better outcome, I Golden Key it.
Yes.
And so during this process, my wonderful friend Lava has been going through a lot the last month, and I had to tell her I'm going to send you the Golden Key. And she's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Golden Key, anything and everything," and it's just basically having faith.
Yep.
It's having faith in
On
God.
steroids.
Let go and
Yes.
let God. So if and part of the Golden Key is if you're thinking about the problem or you're thinking about that you can't change until he changes, Sandra, Golden Key it.
Yep.
And if you can't, y'all hit me up and I'll send you or you can look it up. Look it up. Look up The Golden Key by
Yeah,
Emmett Fox.
Yep.
And so this has been my most powerful tool in my life. And
Yep.
so I'm now sharing it with the world.
Yep.
So anyone and everyone that has never heard of the Golden Key, um, go
By,
look it up. It's
by
the
Emmett Fox.
audio version by Emmett Fox.
Yep.
And
You can do it.
so
You can look at it on you. Look it up on YouTube.
there has been numerous occasions in my life where things have come out of the blue, and the the fear is so strong in my stomach because my as Nancy said, you have faith in one thing, right? You know God's gonna work it out
Yep.
for you,
And
but
then
then you all these things that could go wrong, you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my
yeah.
God, oh my God, what do I do, what do I do, what do I do? And so I had to learn how to golden key, and so
And
that
it is so relaxing.
and that came
And you
from
stay in control.
yes. And so part of it also, I know I talk about the women's conference. This past April, I went to the Gold Rush Women's Conference, and it was actually the workshop on the Golden Key. I almost jumped out of my seat, out of my pants when I saw that that was one of the workshops this year. So it's just, God is always, the universe is always working things out for us. And part of that is that the whole purpose of this tonight, guys, is that most of the time we think we have faith, and we have faith in one area of our life, but we don't have faith in the other area of our lives, right? And if you're thinking about something, that means that you don't have faith in it. You don't have faith that
Right.
God is going to work it out for you. You don't
Right.
have faith that the universe, or you don't have faith that all things are going to work out for your good. Because if you're thinking about it, then you're thinking about the problem, which means now you're worrying about it. You have fear about it. You're trying to decide what should be done. And the truth of the matter is, faith means I'm going to let it go, and I'm going to know
No.
whatever the outcome is.
I'm
it's
good.
I'm good. I'm good. So Jason and I always, as people living, we always have to make tough decisions, right?
Yep. We do.
All right, so finish talking. So that's how we
Okay.
talked about the faith.
Yeah, we've actually used the golden key. It was funny. We were doing something, and Tina came back from the conference, and we really started to dive into the golden key. And situation came up, and I needed something to happen in a very quick time. And I was just golden keying the situation, and everybody involved in the situation, right? Bless every single step, every single person. And a couple of days later or so, I got the outcome that I actually wanted. And I turned to her and I said, "This stuff works." I said,
so
"I am never going to be without my golden key."
and
I
it's so
s-
funny because we actually have the workshop gave us little golden keys, and I think I showed it to you guys last time. I don't even know, but it's upstairs. Anyway, let's
Yeah.
read the next message.
Okay.
Sandra says, you can put it up there.
I got a question for Lava.
Mhm.
If Lava's still on, can you give me maybe an instance how the golden key has helped you out?
Have you used the golden key?
Key?
And if so, do you think it works?
Right.
Have you noticed the difference between having faith in something and then golden key in it, and having faith differently where you totally believe? So give us something. Let's go to Sandra's.
Okay.
Sandra says, I think this fear was there even before my mating children. Praise
Mm.
God. Oh,
See
ooh,
that?
breakthrough.
Boy, we got a breakthrough.
Breakthrough.
We got some awareness.
Consciousness.
Boy,
All
talking
right.
about being aware. Well, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it was. I'm just saying. We're speaking the obvious, but yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
The
But
obvious
not only
or the openness.
yeah, the obvious, but here's the thing: it's been there for majority of all of us.
Absolutely. Pray that.
Whether we want to say it or not. I mean,
Yep.
fear has
Speak.
ruled our
Speak.
life for so
Speak.
long that we can't even separate what's fear and what's faith.
What's real and what's not.
Right.
What's created from ourselves and what the universe wants to give us.
And that's exactly
You
right.
know, so it's so funny because so Lisa has a daughter named Mickey, and she's my goddaughter, and her and I were talking, and we were talking about, the golden key and doing stuff. And I said, most of the time we sitting there and we just going through all this worry, and what about this? And the universe just said, okay, when y'all get through doing whatever y'all gonna do, then I can do what I'm gonna do.
I just need you to just go ahead and get out the way.
Can you stop letting fear over? Can you stop letting fear? It's sort of like you just on overdrive of trying to figure it out, but you say, oh, I got faith. I know God's gonna work it out, or the universe is gonna work it out, or whoever's gonna work it out, and then you constantly talking about it and thinking about it. I said, it's sort of golden key is like, okay, give it to God, and if you're not God, like, okay, how long is it gonna take you before you just get out of the way?
Yep.
Right. And so, Jason, that's a very good point. Fear has definitely right.
Ruled us.
the that's
guided us. I mean, that has been our
it's sort of
guideline.
like negativity, right?
Pretty much.
It's just what the world is what
Right.
we have been fed, and what we just say. Okay,
You know what?
okay,
You know
I'm
what?
just gonna
I
take it
think
for face
about
value.
like little sayings that my grandmother used to say, and it was just, you got to look at the time. I mean, my grandmother was born in what 1918, and
Ooh, sheesh.
yeah, no, and she would say things, but she would say things based on her
Level of
upbringing
level
and,
of
and and the things that she had to go through. Don't you got to stay in your place. You're not gonna always be right. Don't shoot for too much. If you get a job, don't leave the job. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of limitations that were put on her, and those were passed down through the line, right? So you have that.
the
So
fear of don't do this and
right,
don't
don't
do
fail,
that.
don't come right. So I'm dealing with all of that, right? And I'm still trying to be uplifting. So somewhere along the line, you go, you know what? I love you and I respect you, but I can't live by that fear. I have to feel like it's a better way, and I'm willing to take that chance. And then I've always been able to um, get it to work. What happened was I had some good luck. I won't even say good luck.
No such thing as good luck.
I manifested some things in my life, and it showed me that there was another way outside of the fear that I grew up with. That's not the only way. I can have certain things. I have the right to have certain things.
You manifested a great wife. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
did. I did.
All right, let's read.
I worked hard. I worked from a child all the way to a grown man.
Let's,
Okay. Okay, let's see. All right, Lava has chimed in here.
All right. So Lava says, it has helped me with it. So we asked her, how has the golden key helped her? Has she used it?
Mhm.
It has helped me with my daughter and respecting her boundaries. Wonderful.
Wonderful.
I realized I did my part as a parent. Yes. Less worry because my faith is in my creator and not what I can do or can't.
Amen to
All
that.
right. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Amen.
Wonderful.
And-
And
And again, we talk about relationships, right? We're talking about, with Lava, we're talking about a mother-daughter
relationship,
right? And
which
we always talk,
which
right.
can sometimes be
Well,
the
I
most
mean, it's just
strenuous.
children as a whole. It's just tough at times,
Yeah.
right? So
because we want to protect them.
and we feel
Yeah.
like, and because we're parents, we feel like we have the right to overstep our boundaries when it comes to our children, even when they become adults. We feel that we have the right to tell them certain things, and they should act that way. Actually, my father still feels that way, even at this age, right? And I had to tell him, I mean, like, it's okay. I listen, but I hope he don't get upset because I don't always do.
All
what
right,
he want
guys,
me to
that
do.
was a quick hour. And how I know, because Dennis said thank you. All right, right on. Bring up Dennis's. And guys,
Okay.
so we just want to say thank you so very much. We love each and every one of you guys. You have a blessed weekend, a blessed week. And as we're going through this next week, let us ask ourselves, when we're thinking thoughts that are not in alignment with what we really want to experience in life, ask ourselves, am I having faith that I deserve something better, or am I being driven by the fear of my past or the fear of what it was before? And so Dennis said, "Oh, Michelle's on too.
Oh my God, daughter!
That's-
That's so
yeah.
wonderful. It was
Yes.
fun catching up with you. Send the grandbaby over.
That's right. All right. So when we have her, guys, we're gonna bring her on.
Yes.
All right. That's my goddaughter Michelle. All right. Greatest
Yeah.
show. Love y'all. All right.
Right.
So thank you guys too. Let's see. Angela has said, "Hey fam, the golden key has helped me to understand that God stands under everything. No exceptions, and then it works out for me. God is always working out for you. He stands under everything, and if we believe that, then we can't be. But as parents, we always want to be in control.
Yep.
We always want to. We want
I
the
think-
best for everyone, and that's what we have to understand.
I think the best place to start, one wonderful place to start with the golden key is with your children, especially if they're adults.
It
And-
could be in
and
anything.
I understand that, but I'm telling you, it gives you a different outlook. I mean, the whole boundary.
Well, let's start with Dennis. So, Dennis, I want you to go. Look up the Golden Key, and it's by Emmett Fox. It's 7 lines. It's a 7-line thing, and it's an audio part and there's a reading part. But just go and look it up, because I know we've been speaking with you and having some issues. And the Golden Key, even though Lava brought it up, the Golden Key was like my sacred thing that I only told people close, but now I told the whole world. So I guess it was meant to be shared, because God has no secrets, right? If you
That's
know
right.
something that's going to impact me, tell me about it. All right. So The Golden Key. That's right. Go look it up. Go listen to it. And when you have a situation that you think is greater than you, or you have fear, because you said you were operating out of fear right now,
Oh,
right?
this will get you together. This will get
So
you together.
let's take one little small thing that we know we want to change, and we
Mhm.
understand that changes just means something different. We got to
Mhm.
think differently. We got to talk differently. We got to act differently. So we understand. So go and keep some of those little situations and start thinking. Make sure that you were paying attention to our thoughts, guys. We love each and every one of you. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, everyone.
Yes.
May everything always work out for your highest good. We love you. We appreciate you. Please go and like, share, and subscribe. You can find us at
Legendary relationship.
.com/info.
Yeah, everywhere on the socials. On the socials, you can find us at Legendary Relationship. That's YouTube, that's Instagram, that's Facebook. And then
All right.
you can just go to legendaryrelationship.com for everything else. Legendaryrelationship.com/info to get everything else that we have.
And please also keep my friend and her family in your prayers as they travel back to their homes.
Yes.
All right. So again, if you're watching now or watching later, please make sure that you send out a prayer of support to her and her family, that everything is always working out for their highest good. All right. And for anyone out there that's having an issue that you feel is higher than you, or that you are fearful of the outcome, go look up the Golden Key. Let go and let God, right? Let go and watch the universe deliver to you everything, so that you can realize that everything is always working out for your highest good.
And see how much better you feel.
And Sandra, I want you to go get the Golden Key. And I want you to Golden Key whatever situation is you want your mate to change. I want you to Golden Key it, let it go. Don't think about it again, and then start on the change. Be your change agent. All right, guys. I think that's all the things I want today.
You
Anything
sure?
else? Yeah.
I think that's it.
Anything else, Jason?
I think that's all. I think that's all. You didn't let out the secret about the Golden Key.
All right. There is no secret in God.
There is no secret in God. And I want you to be, you know what? Be aware of your thoughts. And you know what? The Golden Key will help with that as well. But be in control of your thoughts. Watch what you're thinking. And because we talk about faith and fear, but watch where we put our focus. That's where we put our focus is what grows and what manifests in our life. So it could be faith or fear. It's up to you, right? It's your focus. So control your thoughts, but now you're aware. So control your thoughts, and let's manifest what we really want to manifest in our lives.
Yes. Let's go. I definitely need bring up Dennis's. All right, I definitely need to work on this. And Dennis, what I was calling your name, I asked you that you go get the book. So we recommended the book, Mirror Works.
Mm-hmm.
And so the person who wrote it is Coach Greta. Her name is Greta Counts. Mm-hmm. It's an excellent book.
Yep.
She had some daddy issues, and she had some upbringing issues, and she talks about that in one of our previous shows. Mm-hmm. And she talked about how doing mirror work actually healed her from the past. And so now she's able to love differently, right? She understands differently. She understands that the situations and the negative things in her life, that she drew them there through the negative things that were going on in her, right? Mm-hmm. And so I recommend that book to everyone too. If you don't have it, it's not part of your library, go and get it. Mirror Works. All right? And her name, again, it's Greta Counts. All right? So I'm sending shouts out to that book. I think it's a phenomenal book that everyone should get, because it helps us on the journey of self-love, which she said that what we need to realize is that there's nothing really to change about ourselves. We just need to love ourselves. And when we love ourselves, then we can love ourselves differently, which brings out all of the wonderfulness in us instead of the negative stuff that we've been taught or that has happened. So we need to understand that.
Yep. That was You Got This, Bro. That was to Dennis. Yep. Because Dennis said he definitely needs to work on this. You'll be good.
Yes.
You'll be good. Get the Golden Key. Like I said, we're 6 months into this, 7 months into this year. So, we only got a few months before we'll be at the end of the year, and we need to be different. Right?
That's right.
That was the whole goal when we started out. When we elevated this at the beginning of the year, we were changing. So, like I said, 7 months in, we only got a few months left.
Change means that our life is not going to look the same in another 6 months.
There you go.
All right? We're trusting and believing, and we're going to start with us.
Right.
All right, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Well, this is the dynamic duo in marriage, and we are out of here. What did Jenna say? In it. That's our next thing, Dennis. So
Thanks.
this is the dynamic duo in marriage,
Hold
and
on,
as
hold on, hold
always,
on. We're in it to win it. Thanks a lot, guys. Till
Love you
next week.
guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.